Today, before I head to the barn, I thought I would give you guys a little bit of a Beckham update. Today, I'm gonna kind of play it by ear as to what we're gonna be doing with him. It's coming around almost 4 months of me owning him now, and I will admit that since he is young, he's only been working for probably like a month and a half total of that, probably not even. Only because he's still growing, he's still gaining a little bit of weight, so not too many things that are that exciting has been happening, but again, I thought I'd bring you guys along just to give you guys a little update on him. So without further ado, let's go ahead and go to the barn. Well, I just got to the barn and it is raining, unfortunately, but we have to go get Beckham from his field. He will be wet, so it's not sweat, it's just rain. Don't freak out, okay guys? But with that being said, I got all my stuff out before I went to go grab him, just because he is young. I don't want him to wait for me forever to just grab his things. And then, yeah, let's go grab him. All the way down at the end of the field, and which is fine. He's out grazing, he's being a happy boy. But with this rain comes a lot of just slip and slides, which I've been scared of recently because Beckham is not a huge fan of water, and I found that out the hard way because I was trying to lead him over a little creek in his pasture. It runs all the way through the middle, so there was no way around it. And again, he just wouldn't go over it. And the mud was so slippery. I fell on my butt like 4 times, guys. It was so embarrassing, and I'm just glad no one was there to see it. Beckham and his friend. No running. Easy. No, easy. That's a bad habit. You cannot come galloping to mom. As much as I love to see you, hello, friend. It's probably not a good idea. We got the pony. Mission accomplished, and we did not fall in the butt. Just don't run over me. Don't run over me. I mean, I guess they say a muddy horse is a happy horse, right? Have anything to say for yourself? No? Just being cute? Okay, so I first start out by curry combing his whole body, and I really like the curry comb process just because it really allows me to figure out what sort of mood he's in. Like right now, he really enjoys that itchy spot up near his neck. It also just allows me to really see everything on his body, making sure that he's not sore in some places. It also just allows me to really get all that grime and dirt off of his coat and off of his skin. It's so important to curry comb because it allows those really important oils to come up and protect the horse's coat even more, and also it results in a very shiny and happy pony. Alright, so next I go in with a long flick brush, and I really enjoy using these flick brushes just because Beckham's a little bit sensitive for the stiffer brushes that are short bristled, and this kind of longer bristled flick brush still does the decent amount of work that a hard brush would do in order to get all those dust particles and mud particles off of him, but keeping his skin and keeping him nice and happy and comfortable. I then go in with a short-haired stiff brush similar to a mud brush on all 4 legs, just to make sure that his legs are clean and mud-free. As we are changing seasons, the weather is starting to get wetter and colder, which could bring some pretty muddy fields, and in order to prevent any sort of scum buildup or even cellulitis, this allows me to tidy up and clean his legs. It also allows me to have a closer look at all of his legs, just to make sure there's no cuts or heat or swelling all that stuff, just any sort of red flags that could possibly mean he injured himself while out in turnout, which would mean no riding for me. Now, I know I just made a video about how boots and wraps could actually be doing more harm than good for protecting and preserving your horse's legs during exercise due to the overheating of the leg. However, here I decided to apply polo wraps and also some back boots just because Beckham is still young. When they're younger, they do have a tendency to forget where their legs are, and sometimes he does interfere with those legs, and I just want to make sure that he is supported, or protected rather, in case he did interfere with his legs. Now here I am just tacking him up. We start with a non-slip pad by Gel Ease. Then we move on with a square pad by Smart Pack. This one's very nice and very classy with the gray piping. I really like it. It's very lightweight. Then I go in with a Fleeceworks half pad just for extra comfort. And then I go in with my Voltaire mono flap. I love this saddle so much. It allows me to have a really close contact feel. And they do have pro panels on it, which allows him to move his shoulder very freely, whichever way he'd like. And then of course I apply the girth, and I didn't get it on video, but I also applied his bridle before moving on to his work for the day. Then I throw him on the lunge with a pair of side reins. Now, I was introduced to this idea while deep diving onto YouTube by a man named Will Farber, I think that's how we pronounce it, but he has a YouTube video or YouTube account called Art to Ride. He specializes in dressage, but he also has a lot of interesting and very educational videos on starting and working with horses of all ages, and I think it's really important to start them with a strong dressage foundation, with a strong flat work foundation. So all this does basically is to allow the horse, or allow Beckham, to warm up without the weight of a rider on his back. The side reins just encourage him to stretch down. They do have a nice bungee, nice elastic part to them, which again just allows him to stretch. They are very loose. They are not tight at all. It just allows him and encourages him to stretch down over his back and through his neck, looking for the bridle and finding relaxation within his warm-up. And that's all it does. And I really have found success with doing this. He has started out way more soft and way more supple, also just way more understanding of what is expected from him throughout the ride. Here he is, just more relaxation, more stretching. This stretch is very subtle. It can be a little bit lower, and he does do lower. He does go lower throughout the lunge on both sides. But I do find that, again, this just helps him really understand where he needs to be, and it helps him relax and stay nice and supple. I really like this, and I encourage everyone to just give it a try, whether your horse is young or ages centuries old. I really enjoy this process of warming your horse up. Now, Beckham has been working a lot on voice commands, and here I wish you could have heard me, but the rain was too loud. But he does respond very well to brrr, and here I am just shaking the lead rope, making sure he does understand that he has to halt when I come towards him. He does not get to come near me. I find that a little bit dangerous. He gets a lot of good scratches, good boy scratches for that great left side. And then here we are changing the lunge line to go to the right. It's really important to warm up both sides evenly so that way they can build muscle and stay soft on both sides evenly. Now, even though Beckham never made it to the track, he never raced, he never had an exercise on the track, he doesn't even have a lip tattoo, but he was in fact still trained to race. And with most thoroughbreds, most off-the-track thoroughbreds, they can be a little stiffer to the right just because they spent so much time working on the left. So in order to help kind of make them more even on both sides, I do like to spend a little bit more time on the right side, just maybe 1 to 2 minutes, just to hopefully even it out a little bit. And because this right side is a little stiffer, that extra time will just be spent with him trotting on the line, letting himself figure it out, letting him figure everything out. I'm just here in the middle acting like a pole. I don't really do anything with that lunge line except encourage him to create a circle, whereas the side reins do all the work to encourage him to stretch long and low and over his back. And like I said earlier, here we are just again working on those voice commands, making sure he stays out on the circle at the halt, whereas I go in and grab him. And he did a very good job doing this on this side. What a good boy, lots of good boy scratches. And then I come here into the middle of the circle to take off the side reins and take off the lunge line to get ready to ride. I would also like to point out that I am recording this session using an automatic recording device called the PivoPod. This recording, or this video, is recorded on my phone using their app, which uses AI tracking technology, which can track and keep the camera pointed towards the horse at all times. Even though this app and this device helps a lot when there is nobody around to help film these rides, there are a few moments, especially while riding in the indoor arena, where the camera gets lost and does not accurately or successfully follow Beckham and I during our ride. So if you're wondering why the riding portion of this video is a little odd, it's because I had to edit out a lot of it due to the fact that the AI technology was not doing a very good job of staying focused on us. Without further ado, let's get on with the video. And now here we are walking up to the mounting block. As of recently, a few days ago, a few weeks ago, we did have a little bit of a scare on the mounting block. So ever since then, it's been a little bit scary to stand next to this mounting block. So I've just done my best to really take my time with the mounting block, not getting discouraged, not getting frustrated, just making sure, or trying to make sure that he stands still and relatively quiet while I take my time with mounting him. And you can see that as soon as he does stand still, I do my best to sit down onto his back nice and gently. And then I also just try to keep him standing still for at least 5 to 10 seconds, and he gets good boy scratches for doing so. I then like to let him walk around for a good 10 minutes. I feel like not enough people school the walk. Not that we're really schooling the walk, but not enough people spend enough time working at the walk. A lot of time, as soon as we get on, we let the horses walk around for maybe a minute or two, maybe 5 minutes, and then it's right to work. I like to really let them walk around, let them see everything, let them get used to the area in which they're about to work for the day. Especially with these younger horses. And then here we are just warming up at the trot. My goal in the trot is just to kind of let him pick his rhythm, let him figure out where he is most comfortable in the bridle. As long as my elbows stay nice and relaxed and my leg stays on and my hands stay up and out in front of me, he normally finds his way into the bridle like a happy little pony. As of recently, we've really been working on just finding relaxation and staying consistent through the turns. Find that the perfect exercise to really help him with this idea is serpentine. So we kind of just do that a lot in our warm-up. Now this clip here shows how he starts out pretty soft and then he just kind of picks his head up a little bit through the turns, which is fine. But again, that sort of serpentine really allows him to understand that he can stay supple. And when he does stay relatively supple a few times in a row, I like to reward him with an easy trot around in a large circle, around 20-meter circle, and then also down the long side. So that way he can stay straight and he knows exactly what's expected from him. I then, of course, like to end right where we started with a nice walk around the arena for 10-20 minutes. Normally I'd like to do this outside of the arena, but since it was raining today, we could not. Today was actually the first day he really offered to stretch this long and low during our cool out session, which was absolutely phenomenal. Here's a good boy pat for him. Now, you might have noticed I did not canter him today. I have yet to really canter him under saddle properly. I have done it 1 or 2 times. This arena is a little small for me to feel comfortable truly cantering him, as we are still learning how to steer. So yeah, we just worked on the walk and trot today. He still gets a treat. That's what I was giving him there. For being such a good boy, being so soft and focused even with the heavy rain plopping on the roof. He does get quite itchy in the face and on the neck after a good ride, so he gets lots of praises through scratching and itching after each ride, like you see here. What a good boy. I'm just hand walking him right now because I want to give him, what's on your ear? But he was phenomenal today. Thank you, buddy. He's a good boy. He's so greedy. I decided to put a standing martingale on him, and also decided to go back to the bit that I originally started him in, which gives him a little bit more direction. The D ring, it helps him steer a little bit more, rather than the French link, which is what he was in, or loose ring, which is what he was in before. I don't think he was quite ready for that. I wanted to give him a really, really soft bit, but I think he was being more confused than anything, and that was making him super frustrated, and then making me a little frustrated too. But he was so good. He's a good boy. Good boy. And here we are, just taking off all of his tack, all of his equipment, so that way we can move on into washing him down and getting him nice and comfortable and getting all that sweat off of his body. Before I go to the wash rack, I do like to pick out his feet and apply Thrush Buster as well as some hoof conditioner, just to make sure that the moisture and all the water that does get onto his feet doesn't over moisturize and completely drench the feet. A lot of times if they spend a lot of time in muddy pastures, just standing in that wet ground and stuff, it can do more harm than good in terms of conditioning their feet. It almost gets too wet and supple. And what that conditioner does, it just prevents the water from truly getting into their feet. And here we are just in the wash rack. He does get a little worried in the wash rack at times. Today was very good. Of course, I start down at the legs and then work my way up towards the body. Today I just decided to wash off where the saddle was and on his neck, just making sure that the sweat that he did build up during his workout is off of him. Again, going down on those legs, making sure those legs are nice and squeaky clean. Beckham, why do you put your face right under the drips? You know you could back up. Oh, I feel no sympathy. You cutie. then after every single time I handle him, whether it's just a ride or a groom or a lunge, I like to do these carrot stretches. I do them on both sides. I do it towards the flank area near the hip, and then I also do it kind of like directly behind where the girth would lay, just stretching that neck and back in different areas. And I also make sure to do it on both sides, just so that way, again, that ensures that he's equal and even on both sides. Again, towards that hip joint and then towards the area right where the girth would lay. Another stretch that is a little new to us, but I definitely like to do, is in between the legs, so that way he can stretch really over his back, just straight down. And then the last two stretches are lifting his belly by giving him these kind of abdominal scratches. You can see him lift up that top line. And then last but not least, I think these are called cat scratches, but you basically run your hands along the sides of his butt, and he lifts his butt and his hip, tucking it under himself, stretching that lower part of his back. Good boy. Once I put Beckham and all of my tack away, I then feed him his lovely soup. In this bucket, I have 1 scoop of shredded beet pulp, 1.5 scoops of alfalfa pellets, a half scoop of Neutrina Boost, 1 scoop of Weight Builder, 1 scoop of electrolytes, and 2 pumps of Equine Omega Complete. This bucket is prepared and soaked before I even go get him and ride him to give the grain plenty of time to soak in the water. Beckham gets half of this bucket at around 3:30 in the afternoon before I start teaching lessons, and then the other half at around 8 p.m. before I go home. This just ensures that he doesn't get an upset tummy from eating too much grain all at once. I find that this grain mixture really helped him gain the weight that he needed to gain, and also has helped his hoof growth immensely, and he also just loves the taste of it. He gets so excited whenever I feed him this. So before I start my afternoon lessons, I need to go grab a drink and a little snack, otherwise I will starve and I will crash and then I'll get cranky. Beckham was super today. He was so good. Again, I really do think that bit change and that martingale piece really helped him. Yeah. For the rest of the day, I do have afternoon lessons, and I really don't feel comfortable filming those, as most of them are under the age of 18, and I feel like it'd be a little weird, and I don't feel comfortable asking permission to videotape kids, and I don't really find it necessary. This YouTube channel is for my growth and Beckham's growth and any future horses that I might have, their growth. It's not really about my lesson students. It is a little sad that I can't include them, but again, I don't feel comfortable filming them. So with that being said, I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. It was super fun to make, and I'm so sorry for like the 3-month hiatus. It's been a little hectic and busy with the summer. I did teach a few weeks of summer camp, and then I was just trying to figure out a schedule for Beckham, and then just overall helping him move in. So there hasn't been too much content that I could have put out, but here I am. Fall's about to start, which is exciting, so perfect weather for riding, and hopefully I'll be doing more of these vlogs and more of those equestrian discussion things that I posted a few days or weeks ago. But yeah, if you guys like this video, please let me know by giving a thumbs up or a comment down below, and please subscribe. It will help me a lot. But with that being said, I hope you guys have a fabulous day, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!